Welcome to another episode of No Followers Podcast. I'm T, this is Bob, and we're here with producer Robert going through some of our frequently asked questions, part 2.
To finish up the last three most commonly asked DMs, which I think are good to get into because they're a little bit different than the last ones we've been getting, are why specifically focus on products / hard goods as an incubator?
Can I take that one first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, thanks, T. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no
it.
problem, no doubt.
You can jump in anytime you want.
Nah, you got it.
I do have it, yes. Because we see most of the mistakes in the manufacturer space, not because people don't have the right passion or they're not smart enough. It's because building software is so different than building hardware. Like in software, we can put patches out, and T says it all the time. You can do it overnight. When you build a product and you put it out in the universe and it's really bad, all of it has to come back. So there has to be more of a focus, not on just the user experience, but safety and the way it's built. And we see in a lot of other programs that they kind of gloss over all of that. So they make it sound like with this information, you could do anything. Some of it is true. Product market fit, research, user experience, commercialization, they have certain pathways. But the manufactured goods is a very different beast. And if you're an inventor, you have to understand that. And if you haven't done it before, that's why we've lived it. We've made our mistakes. We're kind of building that collective that says, okay, great, but let's think about these other things that you probably never thought of before.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me personally, like I'm in the manufacturing space. I own a fabrication shop. And for years, part of my frustration has been not only with my own products, but also with seeing other people who make good products and they walk the same path, which is if I just make a really good product, everything else will fall into place. And there's not enough said out there about that's not the way it is. Like, you can make a great product and you have to figure out all these manufacturing challenges, small scale, large scale, whatever it is, you're going to have manufacturing challenges. You figure all that out and then you have to figure out, how do I sell it? How do I distribute it? Because if your plan is, I'm just going to have a website, good luck. Like, I mean, I wish you the best, but if you don't know who your customer is, how they buy, where they buy, all that kind of stuff. And I'll give you a real life example. Like, we make home goods, bottle openers, ashtrays, coasters, cutting boards, stuff like that. Things that are machined, they take time to make. They are not cheap, but they are on brand for what we do. If I show you a picture of a $60 bottle opener, it's a hard sell. Yeah. We know for a fact that when people see them in person, they are much more likely to buy because you can tell, you can feel the weight of it, you can tell the quality of it, you can see those things. And if you are one of our customers that is into that kind of stuff, it appeals to you. So it changes how we sell, how we distribute, all that kind of stuff. We know that selling on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, it's not right for that product. So we don't waste our time and money on that. And that's what it comes down to, is it's not just how good is your product. It's not just, do you know how to make it at whatever scale you're trying to be at. It's distribution, packaging, product market fit, understanding your customer, how they buy, how your industry works, all that stuff. So our goal is to say, instead of saying we have an incubator that works for anyone and everything, it's that our combined expertise combines for this specific thing. And we believe that we can help people overcome that fatigue, prototype, stall out, burnout, all that kind of stuff to get their product to the next level and actually get to revenue.
And let me add to that, because there's also another component that differentiates what we do as a program and as a collective and what other programs do, even though they say the same words. From a business strategy research perspective, we agreed that because of macro forces, economic forces, and societal forces, that we had to bring manufacturing back to this country, that we have to learn how to create things again and distribute them from here. Not taking away what anybody else does around the planet, but there has to be another component of the economy that actually creates and builds here. Yeah. We put our own money into this. We are full committed to that belief system. That's another difference between this incubator and others. And I say this to all clients. Go ask all those other people you're meeting, how they make money or where they get their money from. That is a huge differentiator. It's coming out of our pockets. So if we didn't believe in it, and that's why we feel like we can have those honest conversations with people, because if we don't win together, we don't win either.
A lot of people don't realize that like there's differences right down to how your product is designed between how you're going to manufacture it now, how you're going to manufacture it a year from now, and how it might be manufactured if you sell the idea to a monster company. Yeah. And so there's a lot of people who have never worked in manufacturing that are involved in incubators that are telling people like, oh, go to a industrial designer, or go to this person, go to that person, and have them design the product for you, and then you'll be all set. And then put it into production. Well, that designer might give you a super lean, super efficient design that's going to cost you $30,000 in injection molding equipment to get. If you've gotten zero feedback on whether or not your target base actually gets benefit from the features in your product, you're throwing your money away. So our goal is to help people they can get small batch samples made of whatever their product is so that they can get real customer feedback and decide what is the best path to market before sinking a ton of money into it. And so that's kind of comes back to what we always talk about, which is how are you going to make it today? How are you going to make it in a year? How are you going to make it, in 10 years? And what we say is like, step one is proof of concept, then prototype, get that user feedback, develop your MVP. Then once you are in the market and selling, even if you're not making your product super efficiently, you have revenue. So now you have options. Now you can do lean design for manufacturing, injection molding, all that kind of stuff. But get to feedback, and from feedback, get to revenue. That's my goal.
But getting the clients also gives you user feedback on what features you should be focused on, right? So that's the beauty of that. But while you were talking, I was thinking about some of the first products we've commercialized were not idea products. They were finished products that they got some consultants and some manufacturer to make for them. So they had thousands of them in their basement. They never sold any of them. So we literally took the product in, redesigned it, refocused the marketing to push it back out the door. So there's what T just said about somebody's going to design something for you. They designed something nobody would use. And then they had no market or commercialization plan, so they didn't know who to talk to. And they thought, I'll just put up some YouTube videos and play some ads, and then people will find us. Well, guess what? There are millions of ads every day that we see. How are you going to get that unless you understand the customer?
Exactly. And then this is, I'm going to make this a two-part question to wrap up the DMs. Part one would be who funds First Strike Incubator, and then part two would be why do you prefer privately funded incubators?
Good question. Thank you for asking.
Oh, of course.
Did it have to be two parts?
Yeah, I mean, we can answer the first part real quick. We fund First Strike Incubator. The part that's run from the shop floor is from Fabro Industries at our shop, where, it's all our equipment and our tooling and all that stuff. We're putting our time into it. So like if we may meet as an incubator, as a cohort, 2 hours a week, but we as a team are spending
countless hours.
Yeah, like at least 8 hours a week on the behind the scenes work and trying to figure out, the next steps and what to do to get you value and all that stuff.
Production and the podcast,
I was just going to say,
social media,
production, everything that comes into it. The second side of it, all that stuff.
The research, which is deep. And involves a lot of focus groups, which anybody who's ever paid for a focus group knows what those cost. So.
Yeah, we do.
Competitors.
Yeah. So we fund it. But to answer your question about private versus public, listen, I'll play the politic answer. Whatever works for your company and your product is great. For me personally, I like privately funded incubators because our goal is to get you to win, right? So the way our development continuum works is step one is an incubator. Step two is we invite people into an accelerator and we can go over the differences between the two. And then step three is we're aligned with venture capital. And the whole point is to find products that we believe in the team and we believe in the founders so much that we will actually help fund them to get to market. Well, I mean, they will already be in market at that point, but to get to the next step. And at that point, we all win. So, I mean, I'll just be very blunt and upfront about it. No one's really making money off an incubator. Like even if you pay for the incubator, think of how many cohorts get pushed through a year versus our overhead to run the incubator. Nobody's making money on an incubator. The point is to be able to find teams that we are a good mesh with and products that we all believe in and that we think we can help to get to that venture funded client partner level. And that's just kind of my 2 cents. That's why I prefer privately funded ones. It keeps everything above board. It makes it so that I'm not really getting a paycheck if you're not getting to market. If it's publicly funded, we're getting our funding from organizations that go, hey, it's about how many people you put through the incubator a year. And it's not about the actual outcome. It's about checking those boxes and pushing numbers through. I don't care if we put 2 people through the incubator a year. If we get them to market and get them selling, phenomenal.
So I think one definition, and we always, regardless of what you get out of the incubator, going back to a question you asked a while ago, is what can you expect? You're going to learn how to ask the right questions to get the answers you need, not those glossy answers that you kind of just knee-jerk reaction say, that makes me feel good. One of the first ones, and T just said it, is we want to win together. Everybody in any program says, I want to win with you. You have to get them to define what a win is. And I'll give you with First Strike Incubators, win. We make money together by selling your product, or the idea you had for a product, we build it and then sell it together to make money together. That's our win. That's it.
I mean, it's pretty.
I don't care if you don't build a factory. Right. I don't care if you build a factory, because there's a lot of other ways instead of just building a manufacturing factory to have a business. And that's the other thing that drives me crazy from other programs. Like, they want you to recreate everything. There are a lot of subcontractors. There's a lot of manufacturers reps. There's a lot of license opportunities. We're going to make money together. That's our win. Ask the other cohorts or programs that you should be meeting. You should get a lot of different input. Ask them what a win means. They won't give you that answer. And if they do, they're full of crap.
Well, and you hit on it too. Like, you should be treating this just like interviewing investors, just like interviewing employees. You should be treating this as an interview. And like, I'll be honest, we're not for it. Like, not everybody might go with what we got going on.
Speak for yourself.
That's okay.
Speak for yourself.
Because the truth is, like, if you are not willing to ask and answer hard questions, we're not for you.
And I just realized I have a blue hat on. I didn't get the memo. Yeah, thanks for cutting me out, both of you.
Yeah, there you go.
Appreciate it.
We faxed each other about this before.
You got the luscious locks.
Yeah.
I don't.
Follow, like, subscribe, No Followers Podcast, First Strike Incubator, and we'll see you next time.